Hey guys, it's Mike here with Do It Yourself Task Force right here on YouTube. Today I am going to be doing a video regarding completely renovating your staircase. It's taken some research, a little bit of time, but I finally have figured it all out and I'm willing to pass on the education to you guys. So as you can see here, we have this part of my staircase. So the banister goes up top here. Also I have one right here, okay, at the top of the second story. And we have one right here, as well as one down there. Now, the project entails the following. I will be, number one, sanding everything down. I will then be using a special type of stain that will allow me to stain. I will be using a stain that will let me stain all throughout here. I did some research. I've talked to multiple people. They've come up with a couple of different conclusions. I watched many videos, and those are just a few things that I have learned. So, number one, as you can see, the wood is fairly light in some areas. It's darker in other areas. This was stained before. I'm not sure if they stained throughout, but no matter what, I want to give the entire railing a really nice dark finish. And also, I will be taking off these posts and putting in some iron balusters. Okay, that's what they're called. They're called iron balusters. It took a little bit of time to find out the information online, exactly what they're called, but basically I'm going to be taking you through a few things and discussing them as I go along and videotaping myself as I complete this job. So again, I want you just to take a look at what it currently looks like. Let's actually, I want to show you guys this view, and then we're going to show, this is going to be a nice, I feel like, side shot of what it currently looks like and what it will look like. All right, so before I get going, the first thing I did was, number one, I went to, I did some research, number one. Number two, I drew out on a piece of paper the different sides of the banister, the different parts of the railing, how many posts you have, okay, count that out. Next, you want to go online and find someone who's selling the metal rods, the iron balusters. That's your next option. You want to know what design you want. There's like a straight one with a there's a straight one with like a type of like twist in the middle. There's ones that have like a little ball. They're called like baskets. There's other different forms of design. And what we figured out here is we're gonna do basically single posts with a twist, and then in every two will be a single post, and the third will be a basket one. That's basically the design that looks like a ball in the middle. That's going to look great. And so I did that next and order that, and then now I am actually ready to sand. So after multiple discussions with multiple people, it's come to a conclusion that some people sand, some people don't. If you don't sand, then some of the stain that you're going to put down, it might not last, and the actual stain will start to chip off over time, which is understandable. So in this scenario, I will start to do, this is a 220 fine, and this is what was recommended by the stain that I'm going to be using. The stain I acquired, I don't know the exact name, but I will go back to it, and I'm acquiring it from Lowe's. And basically, I will go ahead and sand to the best of my ability, okay, this entire railing area. Now, after that, what they requested that I do is that I use something like this. This is a tack cloth, okay? The tack cloth is basically a moist cloth that removes dust and fine particles, okay? So it's not like you want to do any water. You don't want to put any water on this. Maybe just lightly clean it before getting down and dirty on it. So after you've, I mean, this is some serious work to have to sand down this entire thing. It's nothing easy, but I mean, I started doing this little part right here. As you can see, it just became a little lighter, and you truly do feel the grainy dirt, the scum that's been kind of like corroded over the years. This railing's probably maybe like 35 years old. It looks dated. That's why we're going to update it. So as you know, I took you over a couple of points of what you need to do prior to sanding. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sanding. Alright guys, so when we left off, actually I was in the process of sanding, okay, the railing, but we realized that a lot of different people have a lot of different mindsets on how to go about doing this. So after further review, we have now concluded that we are going to use a stripper, okay? Not the fun type. But, so what we're going to be doing is we're literally going to be stripping or trying our best to strip as much of the color of this pre-stained wood off of here. And I will, when we get to that part, I will show you all the different tools that we have purchased in regards to doing a full strip, as well as what type of stainer we're using, some of the tools that we're going to be staining with, some of the additional equipment that you're going to need to do this. So as of right now, I'm actually using a hacksaw, okay, to cut these posts out. Once these posts are cut, as you can see, we are basically taping around the perimeters of areas that we're going to be stripping the paint from. And once that is stripped, I'm going to show you what that looks like, as well as the next step after the stripping. Then we can start to put the staining on. So, alright guys, so this is what's going on right here. As you can see, let me get back. This is that top railing right now. I'm just leaving the two pieces right here in the middle, just for support as of right now. As you can see over there, we have a little pile of all the posts I took off. Run into some problems. You want to be real careful when you do this. As you can see, it's a little messy. We have some dust right there. I'm using a basic little hacksaw, real cheap one that you can get anywhere. As what I'm doing right here, as you can see, basically cutting right in the middle of each post. And then what happens is, I guess each banister is done differently. They actually went upward with screws in each one, so from the bottom and the top. So there's actually a nail up on this one, and there's a screw on this one. I don't know. I don't understand, but okay. So that's the issue that I'm having. It's not really an issue, but basically there's also small inner pieces in between each post that are kind of shifting around. But when we get to the point where we're going to be putting in the new Iron Balusters, we're probably going to have to use a drill bit to drill into each one of these to fit the ballast inside, as well as add an adhesive. So stay tuned as we move forward. And also, as you can see right here, here's one of the screws that's standing upward from this part right here. I'll have to figure on how to go about basically cutting that down, or keeping that, just drilling right on the side of it, a pilot hole for the new baluster, leaving it as it is, because we do have shoes for the bottom and top of each post. I find it weird when you actually only have a shoe at the bottom to cover up the radius around here, because there's some imperfections as it goes down. But a lot of people at the top, they kind of just either, they don't have these inner parts, so they kind of just, they put the post inside and they kind of just leave it like that. I'm not a big fan of that, so we are going to be using a double shoe at the top here. I vacuumed up the area. I left two in right here. This top part was actually pretty shaky. What I did was I took a nail gun, busted a couple of nails right through here. It actually keeps it real nice and tight. I'll probably be able to loosen these two up and keep the entire banister at hold. Our next thing is, let me just show you guys what you're going to need and some of the things that we got. Number one, make sure you have your mask, okay? There's some stuff like this thing right here called citrus strip, okay? It says it's like okay to use indoors. Which one are you using?
The larger one.
Okay, so we got two brushes right here. We're going to be using this brush to add in that stuff. Okay, this is the stuff. We got that stuff right there. Let me give you a close-up. This is like some indoor use stuff, okay? There was some other stuff that had a skull and some bones on it. I don't know. We decided to stay away from that stuff because it's totally sketchy. Alright, so we got that stuff. After you apply this, it dries up. No, stay. After it dries up, you will add this odorless mineral spirits, okay? You're going to use some sort of, make sure you got your gloves. Those are used for the actual staining. So, you put this on, it dries up. You put that on to strip the current wood on there. You use these plastic little sticks right here to actually move the stripped wood or the stripped paint off of the current wood. this is the stuff that we got. Now you could get this this type of finish already with the polyurethane in it. We came to a conclusion that if you're doing it all-in-one, the staining and the polyurethane together, you actually don't get a nice even coat throughout. So what we did was we actually decided to go with just the stain. Excuse me. We're using a dark walnut, and then on top of that we're using this fast dry polyurethane clear gloss in the superior durability. Sure. So we're using that, and that's really it. Make sure you got your gloves, make sure you got your goggles, make sure you got your little sponge brushes, and that's really it. So as of right now, we're going to be adding that to the current banister. Make sure you have all the windows open. I don't recommend doing this in the winter. I don't know how this is going to smell, what the outcome is. I will keep you guys posted. But we are going to be doing the entire railing, you know, and that's the project, to refinish the entire railing of a brand new color and put brand new balusters inside. As you can see, these are dated. We got the wood ones, so that is exactly what we are doing. And here is one more view of the current banister. As you can see, my wife is applying the material all throughout, all over. I haven't cut these, but that's not going to matter at this point in time. As soon as we're stripping everything down, I will continue to cut the balusters off. But as you can see, she's using just a regular brush. She has her goggles and mask on, and she's using, make sure you have some sort of a metal pan to put the material in. If you put it in plastic, it faster. We managed to take all these out. Minor injuries. Whoa, minor injuries. I mean, this is pretty tight quarters, and you really want to see underneath here. We have these little pieces that basically were in the in-between pieces for all the wood, and trying to get those out. There's nails, and you're going to be banging up your arms, and just be very careful if you're doing this. I mean, I don't know any other way. But this is, so we basically got all these out right here. Majority, we only have 2 posts up top, but we could probably take those out now. And we have 3 left there, and what is that, 6 there. So I'll just knock those out and we'll get going. Basically, I think once you apply this, this chemical on top, you have to wait 6 hours from done. As you can see, we got this done, we got this done, we got this done, and we got that bottom one done. Everything is knocked out. Everything has been, the chemical treatment for the stripping has been put on. So we're just waiting for it to basically harden, cure, and do its thing. And then we start scraping. We already started scraping a little bit. We're adding a little more of this chemical on just to really get in there and scrape as much of it as we can. It's really not changing the color. I mean, some of this right here, we were actually already taking some of the staining off. We're just not even sure what type of wood. I mean, this could be the natural color of the wood. We're just not 100% sure. But I'm almost certain at the end we will have a great outcome. It's going to be a beautiful end result. Show you what it looks like. This has been left on for probably over 5 hours. As you can see, the substance gets really kind of white, and it definitely works. I mean, as you can see, look at this part right here. All right, a lot of the stain is just kind of coming right off. And I feel like where it's even whiter, it's going to even come off stronger. It's looking good. You know, if you have pets, make sure you keep them away from this. But you know, if you do it once, maybe you do it twice. It's a lot of time being spent on this. So let me give you the current update. Right now, as you can see, this looks real nice and clean. Just take a look at this, okay? Some of the wood has been sanded down a little more. Some of it is stripped in different ways. But basically all we've been using is that one same citrusy strip. And the main ingredient for this right here, okay, this was super dirty. I mean, I'm talking about, make sure you have a vacuum cleaner that you're ready to throw out. Okay, a lot of the stuff that was stuck on there, it gets real sticky, real tough to get off. Okay, I got this stuff right here. Okay, the Odorless Mineral Spirits. This thing is a gem. Okay, I've never used it before. It's unbelievable. Take a look at that stair piece right there. I'm gonna update you in a few minutes. You see all that white right there? That residue is from the stripper. Okay, the stripper kind of sits on there, and unfortunately, it just gets kind of stuck on there. As you can see here, I haven't hit this part yet right now, but I'm about to. But I really wanted to show you guys what it basically what it looks like after it's been scraped. I mean, you got to do a lot of scraping. Things get dirty. Just look down there. I mean, this thing is a mess. Okay, make sure you got your tape right. Make sure you got your breathing. Make sure you got your face masks, goggles, whatever it is you need. Make sure you got some gloves. And but the last effect, as you can see, this area right here, nice and clean. I've been working on this for a little bit now. You got to buy some rags at the same area that you'll buy this mineral spirits, and it should come out like this, a little cleaner, smoother, and it takes off that residue that's going to be stuck. As you can see there, again, I will update you in just a few what that looks like after I went over it with the mineral spirits. Just a moment ago, this was all kind of filthy with that white stuff. I mean, as you can see, I start these out straight white. This is what it looks like now, okay? These things start out like this, okay? Just like that. And basically, I'm using that, that mineral to kind of just rub this off, rub that excess dirt, that grime completely off of here. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but hopefully the end result will be worth it. You guys see now, we're really doing well. It's now about 2:30 a.m. and the job is at a point where tomorrow we will stain, and then in just a few days, you won't know the few days, but in just a few days we will get my Iron Balusters. And that will be it. You guys should have saw how much grime. Basically, the whole process is taking off grime off of your stairs. Okay? Taking off all grime to then properly be able to stain. As you can see, we're all cleaned up. I mean, this was a serious job. I understand why in some places they charge $7 grand depending on how big the stairs are. I can understand that now. Alright, so this is what we got going on. Everything is nice and clean. We did a lot of cleanup here. Tons of grime came off. Everything is really smooth now. And we are ready to stain. Morning now. Basically, the next job is now I'm using a nail gun to lightly, as best as I can, to basically retighten the banister. Over the years it's gotten a little bit loose, so what I'm doing is I'm just shooting some 18s into the bottom, into bottoms here, bottoms of the posts, just to tighten things up. It was a lot looser. Now it's way tighter. It's looking good. We are about to re-tape certain areas, and we are about to start the staining process now, right about to start staining. What I wanted to emphasize on, just take a look at the blue tracks. We've gone excessively hard on taping into the carpet. So it depends on your situation. If you have an unfinished house or you have a current finished house that you're currently living in, you want to protect everything that you currently have. So you want to make sure you get this tape kind of tucked in underneath the carpet almost. This way you can protect what you currently have. As you can see, taping is really important to make sure that you don't ruin everything you currently have. If you guys remember right here, alright guys, as you can see here, the post was just done with its first coat. Depending on the lighting and where you stand, and actually you can't really tell a difference as of right now, but as you can see, it's just a much nicer finish. Okay, take a look at that. It's looking a lot nicer. All we did was the post here and this top railing here. Basically, what we're doing is we're using this type of what is it, a staining pad. Putting it into the stain here, just like this. Okay, just dabbing in a little bit. Make sure you get the excess off. And then from there, as you can see here, I basically start at the top and I kind of just go right through it, just like that, as you can see. Alright, as you can see, look at the difference in the wood. Okay, and basically you're going to have your partner or somebody else, they're using this type of brush right there. It's a sponge brush to kind of follow along with you. So first you do it with the pad to apply, and as soon as you're done applying, they will go over it with their tool. Alright? As you can see, just slightly going over it, taking over any of the clumped up the stainer, because you will see like little black streaks, and that's basically the clumped up stainer. And you're going to start seeing a big difference. I mean, look at the bottom color, look at the up top color. Okay, this is a second coat, and we're doing it by sections every 5 minutes. As soon as you do your first coat, after 5 minutes, you want to go ahead and wipe it down with a rag. And then you will be able to see the type of color that you currently have, if you want to go ahead and get it darker or keep it at the color that you just did. To look at this rich, really nice dark wood that we have going on now. It's actually different. It's almost, the color combinations are different in every single light. But as you can see, it's nice, dark, and it's evenly dispersed amongst the wood. As you can see, we got the side trim done. This is now getting complete. As you can see, here's the difference. So you can look here. It's very different on camera, I think, than it would be in person. Because I'm looking at it now. I mean, basically, you could tell when you're looking at that. Look at this old kind of banged up pole. Okay, and then when you look down here, what that looks like. And then you come over here, and then you're looking at this nicer finish. And this is a finish that's been already kind of cured for probably like 2 to 3 hours. You know, I guess it's all about putting it evenly throughout for it to look really nice and sharp. But overall, it's looking really nice. It's looking new, and we haven't even applied the polyurethane. I just wanted to show you real quick what the difference is in color combination as I'm applying this. Okay, as you can see right here, there's a difference. You should put the camera a little towards here better. See, there's a difference. This is the old wood, but it's also been treated with the stripper as well as light sanding. Okay, and it's and then also the mineral spirits that took everything off real clean. It becomes real smooth. Now, I just want to show real quick as I go down this part the change in color. Basically, I just dip this into my stain, and just check this out. So this is what it looks like. Okay, as you put it on, as you apply, you will see a color change. Get that soaking into your wood. You want to let that sit after you've completed the certain spaces. Let that sit for about 10-15 minutes. You could wipe it down with a rag. After you wiped it down with a rag, you will have an understanding of the color depth that you want. How dark is it? How dark do you want it? How light do you want it? If it's too light, reapply. If after, then, you know, maybe let it sit. The longer you let it sit, the darker it will be. All right, moving forward, a little over 24 hours, actually a little over 48 hours. We started this project on a Saturday night going into Sunday. It is now Tuesday evening. As you can see, just take a look at the railing. I mean, this stuff is laid out just like this. And I also have like a barrier right here because we have 2 cats and a dog. The cats like to jump from there onto here. We don't want them leaving any footprints or anything, so you want to barricade any areas. But I mean, take a look at the railing right now. Really nice, dark, rich color, nice and shiny. We haven't applied any polyurethane. We haven't sanded over it. Right now, it's actually looking real sweet. Quick FYI, if you're doing this, the next step after you've applied this, okay, make sure it's not wet. You want to make sure you rub the wood down with some sort of cloth, because it's literally going to sit wet for days and days. We have 3 fans blowing on this at all times. It's really important that you wipe it down consistently, day after day. I've literally been lightly wiping it down, okay, not with pressure, but just a nice clean wipe anywhere that you see that it might be getting wet. And the interesting part about this wood is the fact that once you wipe it down, it actually kind of, from the pores, the wetness reappears in a way. So our current scenario is we are waiting for everything to dry out, and that's when we will apply. Oh my god, as you saw there, the cat just jumped up, but thank god this is actually way drier. This is really dry now. It's actually ready for the polyurethane, though we're going to wait one more day. So this is the current process that's very interesting, okay? After staining, after doing everything, you are now at a point that we've actually stained everything. Again, I'm sorry if I'm piecing this whole thing together, but this is the only way I'm capable of doing it, as I am working with my wife to get this project completed. At this point in time, if you remember the banister, basically these little squares right here, okay, they actually, the poles sat in them. We did not have these pilot holes that I'm now drilling to get this piece in. Okay, this is one of the posts that we got. This is like a double basket type of deal. Basically, there's a specific way that what you want to do is you want to get this thing in. Okay, you want a certain amount of room at the top. Can you actually grab the camera real quick for me? You want a certain amount of room at the top, and I'm going to tell you that in a second. And you also want a certain amount of room at the bottom. Okay, as you can see, they're looking nice. It's going to look real nice and flush. We got the shoes for the top and bottom. Okay, here, go back a little bit. Let me show them. So this is what we're using. I mean, everything's going to be different for your perspective of the holes, and as well as the width and length of these posts, because they actually come really big. We had to cut them down. It's a tricky process, and this is definitely a lengthy process. What I'm doing is I'm using a 5/8 drill bit right now to put holes down into the bottom and the top. We measured out that the bottom holes, they actually go right up to here. This is the depth that we want it to be. And the top holes, we want them to come down to this part, because this could have, the top area will have more room. This way when you go up higher, there's plenty of room for it to fall down and not scratch the surface. It's really important. Basically using the pinky method. Explain the pinky method again to them. Go ahead.
I think it's the up part, the top railing is, it's not focusing in.
That's all right.
Is my one pinky.
All right, tell them.
The top railing, you want to get your pinky, the length of your pinky in there.
Right, the length of your pinky all the way into the top area, right?
And then on the bottom, you want to come to about your first knuckle.
The first knuckle of your pinky. That's like kind of that's what we. That's the rule of thumb that we read into. And also, I mean, we come into a lot of trouble that we're actually getting ourselves out of now. A lot of these, when we took the post out, the way that this was laid before, they had screws from underneath going into each post. So there was a number of these when we took them out. The screws were still inside. So we've been actually drilling them out and pulling them out literally like teeth. So at this time, that's what we're doing. We are literally putting pilot holes in the bottom and the top to get these. So this has literally been almost a week process, guys. I want to again reflect on the fact that we have been, you know, when you have work during the day, you come home after dinner and you're trying to put this thing together, this is what happens. So I mean, we're right now, the wife is applying the polyurethane, doing her best. Look at that beautiful, you see that gloss, you see that glare? That's gonna look so nice. I mean, look back at what the banister looked like before. You know, we've already started doing holes all across. We basically finished the holes all across this entire thing at the top and bottom. What I mean by that, I'm going to show you in just a second. And after the polyurethane glaze right here, this entire thing is going to be ready. I'm really excited, and I will take you there as soon as we're ready. And that could be actually probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Again, we started this on Saturday. Today is Friday. And we have been... as you guys saw right there, that's what I did to that one hole, and vacuum it right away. Now there's going to be little particles everywhere, and what you want to do is you want to use like the other brush that has like, I don't even know what it is, but it's like the soft part of the brush, the attachment, the extension, just to clean the surface off. But that's what you have to do to the top and bottom to fit these new balusters in, and it all depends on how your current setup is. I guess everybody will have a different way of doing it, but this is our current setup, and this is the extent that we have to go to add on the new posts. We're now in the final stages of basically getting everything prepared when it comes to putting the actual iron balusters in. At this time, my wife is using a tack cloth. So all of this, everything right from here, down there, and all across here has been, it's been double stained with polyurethane, or polyurethane's been applied 2 times on it.
That was so slick, the cat even slept.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a beautiful shine. I mean, again, if you forward into the video, go back and look at what this used to look like, and now look at that look at this beautiful shine on there. It's unbelievable. It really turned out nice. And I'm gonna do in a little bit, I guess I'll do like a full lowdown of exactly what was done, how it was done, and so forth. One of the really hard parts here, I actually realized this today, theoretically we customized this banister because for those iron, here let me show you guys. So these are the iron balusters, okay? We got the twist in the middle and the 2 baskets on the side. Now these come a lot larger, and I'm gonna you know, I'm gonna actually go to that clip right now and let me show you what I had to do to cut these down. Here's my workbench. Okay, basically this is the really hard part. Okay, one of the harder part. I mean, it's not really hard, but overall it was difficult because sometimes you just wing things, and I didn't have a vise. I didn't have certain things that a lot of people might have to use to get this done. I mean, look at this. Look at all these pieces that I cut from. Okay, little pieces like this to big pieces like this. You saw up top how long those iron balusters are. Okay, and that's how much you have to take off on certain ones. They all vary in size. The ones that laid flat were longer. The ones that had a slope were a lot shorter. I literally had to put on my gloves. I would stand here, hold the baluster like this. Okay, as you can see, all this steel dust, and I would use this. First I started out with this little one. Okay, this is a hacksaw. I would start out with this one, and then it became a little difficult. So I got this one, and I mean, let me tell you, this will put on some muscle. All right, holding the actual iron down and cutting it straight at the line where my wife had measured on each one, it's pretty difficult. Let me tell you something else. I got this piece right here. Okay, let me actually turn this a little easier. So this is the reciprocating saw. Okay, we thought it would be much easier to use this than a handsaw. Okay, I got this piece right here. This is something to cut steel with. This DeWalt piece for the metal. Okay, it does not work. Okay, so don't even try it, because this thing, when these 2 pieces get attached, it becomes so flimsy it's impossible to keep a straight line. It's definitely not smooth. It's really difficult. Do it, but I hand hacksawed every single one. It was really difficult. Overall, the project was it was an interesting project. I didn't know how much really there was to that was involved until I get started. So that's really it. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is part of the project. Alright, so as you guys saw, what I actually had to do, I had to hand saw them. Okay, I had to use a hacksaw, as you saw, and literally one by one, every single one of these. I think there's like 35. Okay, oh my god, that beautiful shine. Every single one of them I had to cut by hand, and it was really important to do it to size. So make sure you know what you're doing regarding measuring once it's measured properly. But one of the really important aspects of this whole railing part that I actually had to do was hand drill, of course, the holes going downward, upward to make sure everything is straight. But what was really difficult was actually the slope, because these aren't just, you know what I mean? The slope goes this way and you're not just drilling straight in. You have to drill downward, as you can see, into the slope to make sure that you're still keeping a vertical, really nice straight line. So that's really important to consider. And so yeah, as you see right now, my wife is wiping down, because after you apply the polyurethane, there's going to be a little like grainy little bubbles. Okay, they're not going to be really visible, but they're there. And what you're going to do is you're going to take like a little piece of wool, steel wool, and you're going to just slightly go through the entire railing with the steel wool, and it will provide that wonderful shine and the additional protection, as well as just take off some of those excess bubbles. Now after that, you're going to want to just go over everything with the tack cloth. And again, Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere will have the tack cloth. It's a very sticky cloth that basically, as you wipe along, it picks up any of the fine particles, any of the little pieces of wood, any of the dust that's left on the railing. So this is, I mean, I'm so happy that we're finally in the final stages. This is, I'm going to show you, basically, as you see, these are missing all the balusters. In the next few seconds, I will show you the finished product with everything installed and how it all looks. Alright, well, here is the end result. Here is the end result, guys. This is what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. It really changes the things. One more time, let me just show you what it looked like before. The hint. Alright, I mean, it completely changed the entire atmosphere of the entire the staircase. Overall brought a nice, beautiful refinish look. I mean, it looks brand new with the fresh polyurethane glossy look. It's not even too glossy, it's just right. Alright, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, because we definitely enjoyed making it. As you can see, I also filled in right here with some brand new baseboard, did a little beautiful caulking. If you're not good at doing things like baseboards, make sure you're an expert caulker, because with a little bit of caulk, you won't believe what you can accomplish. And that's it. Again, thanks you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. And this was the video of an absolute refinish of an entire banister with new iron ballast. Beautiful.